Forget what Hollywood told you. Forget the gleaming armor and the noble hero. The life of a Roman gladiator wasn't glory. It was a story of property, brutality, and filth, with a life expectancy measured in matches. For centuries, we've only had myths. Now, using artificial intelligence, we can visualize the truth. This is the brutal, filthy reality of life as a Roman gladiator. You were not a volunteer. The vast majority of gladiators were slaves, prisoners of war, or criminals condemned to die. You were property, bought and sold like cattle by a lanista, a businessman. He didn't care about your name, only your potential to earn him money before you died. You were taken to the ludus, the gladiator school. This was not an academy. It was your new prison. The first thing that hit you was the smell. Unwashed bodies, sweat, and fear. You were housed in a tiny windowless cell with 2 other men, sleeping on filthy straw. No sanitation, just a bucket in the corner. This was your new family, a brutal hierarchy where new recruits were at the bottom. Overseeing it all were the doctores, the trainers. They were masters, armed with whips, enforcing discipline with absolute brutality. A moment's hesitation, and the whip would find your back. Your day began at dawn. The training was relentless, not for glory, but survival. You trained with a rudis, a heavy wooden sword, often twice the weight of a steel one, designed to build stamina. You were force-fed a high-carbohydrate diet. They called you Hordearii, the Barley Men. This was strategy. A layer of fat protected your organs from superficial cuts. A small wound would bleed spectacularly for the crowd, but it wouldn't kill the investment. And you were an investment. Ironically, your medical care was excellent. The lanista employed doctors to patch you up and send you right back to training. Then came the day of the Munis, the games. You were paraded through the city, a star one moment, socially shameful the next. The crowd would gamble on you and scream for your blood. You step out from that dark tunnel into the blinding light of the Colosseum. The roar of 50,000 people hits you like a wave. Forget the myth of duels to the death. Most fights were not fatal. You were an expensive asset, but death was always on the table. If you fell, you would drop your shield and raise one finger, the ad digitum, signaling surrender. Your fate was now in the hands of the crowd. They would scream, and the sponsor of the games would make the call. If the call was death, your opponent delivered the coup de grace, a quick, professional strike. Then, men dressed as Charon, the ferryman of the underworld, would drag your body from the sand as the crowd roared for the next match. There were only 2 ways out of the ludus: death in the arena or freedom. If you survived and became a champion, you could be awarded the rudis, the wooden sword, symbolizing your freedom. But most died young, their names forgotten, their bodies dumped in mass graves. They were the ultimate Roman paradox: slaves, yet superstars; despised, yet desired; property, yet immortalized. What we see through AI is not glory. It is a world of dirt, sweat, and blood. A world where survival was the only prize. This was the reality. The story of the gladiator is just one of many buried by time. What other brutal realities should we visualize next? Let us know in the comments.